Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser, episode 127. I am your host, Richard BB Yule,
Jeff Lown.
and we are discussing Wes Craven's Deadly Friend from 1986.
We sure are. We sure are.
This has gained some notoriety because it was just released probably a year ago or so.
On Blu-ray, yeah. I think
on
Spring
Blu-ray.
Factory had put that one out. It had a couple DVD releases, I think, before then.
You mean like this?
Just like that. Yeah, it was part of the Twisted Terror collection, which I think...
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. This crazy-ass box set that has...
John Carpenter, Oliver Stone, Wes Craven.
So the movies are... Shit, it's upside down. Hold on.
Eyes of a Stranger, The Dentist... It's got...
No, you're wrong. You're already wrong.
Dr. Giggles. It's got The Hand.
Yeah, someone's watching From Beyond the Grave and Eyes of a Stranger.
Oh, yeah, I did. We did talk about that because I said I think they just threw From Beyond the Grave as like a filler.
Yeah. So I had never heard of this movie up until the release a year ago or so. And even then, I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't read what it was about. I knew it had this robot in it, this cool looking yellow robot.
Yeah.
But that's it. So when you picked it, I didn't read about it or anything. We will spoil this movie because it's, 30 years old, 40. God, was it 40 years old?
So Short Circuit came out in Short Circuit came out in 1986 as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, robots were very popular. You had Space
Rocky?
Camp. You had Rocky. You had Space Camp. Have you ever seen Space Camp?
Oh,
dude, that was one of my favorites. It's where a bunch of teenagers go into space. And it was a big movie. Lee Phoenix is in it as a kid.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson, I think. John Travolta's wife. Ton of people in that movie.
That's pretty crazy.
So Lee Phoenix, Joaquin, he's a kid. He's like, I don't know, 11 or 12. And but he has a robot friend.
Okay.
So, 80s and robots, that was the future, right?
Yeah, well, that was the whole... Wasn't that all what Disney Epcot was about?
Yeah. Epcot is the future.
Right. But yeah, everything was robotics then, which is cool.
Well, we're basically there now, right? We don't think of it, but our vacuums are robots, and hell, you could even think of coffee pots, as far as they got timers. All you got to do is put in one thing, hit a thing, and boom, there you go.
Anytime I think of automated food stuff, I think Pee-wee.
That's fair. It's still my favorite part of the movie. It's all downhill after that. I love Big Adventure, but man, I saw that movie in the theater, and I just remember just being in awe of that very beginning.
Yeah, it's great.
And that guy's bathtub, I was very jealous of. But yeah, this was right after Nightmare on Elm Street. He did do a TV movie called Chiller, and he also did something for the Magical World of Disney, which makes me laugh. And then Deadly Friend come out. And obviously it wasn't that huge of a success just because, you don't hear it in the zeitgeist of Wes Craven talk or anything, and there's probably a few reasons why. The movie is basically Short Circuit and Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah. So what, it's his trajectory is just so interesting to me. Wes Craven's. He started out doing porn essentially. And then he did grindhouse films. So, he did Last House on the Left, Hills Have Eyes. Then he went into like made for TV movies. Then he's working in Disney movies or Disney shows.
Yeah.
And he did, obviously he's like a master of the horror genre, so he did plenty in there. But it's just a very interesting career.
I mean, yeah, you look at Serpent and the Rainbow,
Great movie.
Shocker, Night Visions was another TV movie, which is weird. Like he's already successful by this point. He's doing TV movies. Then you got People Under the Stairs. He only did one episode of Nightmare Cafe. New Nightmare, which is timely. We'll talk about that later. And then you hit Vampire in Brooklyn, but then Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Cursed, Red Eye.
That's a good movie. Did we do that?
Red Eye. We have not done Red Eye. Red Eye is awesome, man. I love it.
I think they put out a 4K of it for one of the, was it the Paramount Presents line? I don't know. It's so hard to keep up with all the different stupid things anymore, but
yeah.
Yeah, they did. They put it out last March. Paramount Presents. Man, I'm good. This brain stores all this info that's really not important at all. It's not important at all. But yeah, they put that out. I'd be curious to see how that looks. But
he did My Soul to Take, which I've heard really terrible things about.
Yeah.
But I've never watched it.
I think that one's pretty divisive. So I mean, you either have people that love it or hate it.
And then he did Scream 4. So I didn't really know he directed the first 4 Screams.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to read more about that to see if, because with the Nightmare stuff, he obviously didn't direct all those. I don't think he wanted to. So I don't know why he would stick around for Scream all the way through 4.
Yeah.
I doubt that, he wanted to do that, but the piles of money were probably too good to pass up.
Well, I mean, and this is the end of his career.
Sadly.
He was older, so money helps.
Yeah, he's not John Carpenter. It's not like he could just take his band on tour and go play or sit at home and play Xbox like John Carpenter does. So I think that's so funny that he just sits around at home playing like NBA 2K on Xbox.
Smokes weed and yeah.
It's funny.
It's kind of funny. So yeah, welcome to the show. We are Night of the Nerdy Laser, and you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, when we are putting all the podcasts on YouTube now. So enjoy that. It's all Night of the Nerdy Laser. You can check us out there. We have volume 1 of Trash Talk. We don't talk about it much, Jeff,
no,
because there's no real way for people to buy it right now. I'm in the mid. I promise I'm gonna get it up soon. But we have this high quality Blu-ray, man. I mean, Roy just knocked it out of the park with this thing. It's more professional than the actual thing that's on it. But we do have, I think we did 5 episodes, 1 bonus episode of Sleepaway Camp that you can't find anywhere else. And we are working on volume 2 and 3 technically, but 2 is almost done. So hopefully at the beginning of the summer we'll have volume 2 ready and available. So we're having a lot of fun on that. We might be putting up what did we do yesterday?
Good question. Hard
Ticket to Hawaii on I might be putting that on the YouTube channel here in the next couple weeks. So be on the lookout for that. If YouTube lets me, that is. So yeah, lots of cool things happening. If you really like us, all you have to do is what, Jeff?
They just need to give us a rating. All they got to do is go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, any of the podcatchers out there. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. And then all you got to do is pop in a 5-star review, or, I don't even care if you don't, but I'd prefer if you did. 5-star. And then if, on Apple, I know they give you an option to like write out a review, and that actually helps with the algorithms. So if you like what you're getting and it's free, reciprocate that and help us out. We'll grow it. And, be a bigger and better thing.
For sure. All right, so Deadly Friend. The short and long of this, the basic premise is we've got a boy genius who created a robot that learns and does things for him, and he moves into this new neighborhood.
Yes.
And insanity ensues. Like I said,
It's insanity.
we are gonna talk spoilers. So to tell you about the story, if you don't care, then feel free to listen on. If you do, watch the movie and then give us a listen. So like I said, I had no clue what this movie was about other than this little yellow robot. So I figured that was the bad guy and he was the killer, and it goes berserk or something. But we start this movie out with a cool scene where there's a trucker.
Yeah.
There's a vehicle, a truck, and there's a guy breaking into it,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets busted by BB.
As you do. As you do.
So that's where we kind of see the evil of the robot, but he is protecting. So,
This movie couldn't be more relevant because at one point in the movie, our main character, what's his name? Paul, played by Matthew Laborto. How do you say that name?
Kim Basinger.
Uh,
That's, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I always go to that when people are like, I don't know how to say this.
Anyway, we'll
Family
just
Guy
say
is so fucking good.
Paul. We'll just go by his character name, Paul. He mentions in it like that BB is like learning at an accelerated rate and all this stuff, and I'm just like, wow, that's just AI today. Like,
Yeah, I
like
mean
that
that's
is where we're at. So is AI going to give us like a ball crunch if we're on our mopeds trying to open it with a can opener? We got to be careful.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't want a ball crunch.
So basically, he becomes friends with this newspaper boy and the girl next door, and we get like Jeff said, we get the bullies are picking on this kid with the robot. And like Jeff said, BB eventually grabs the nuts of the main bad guy and is going to squeeze him to death, I guess.
He had to turn off the kill switch, or else that guy was done for.
So I really like BB. Do you think people get irritated with him? Because he's a little annoying.
A little
because
annoying.
he talks a lot. And you can't really understand what he's saying, but I did discover if you have closed caption on, it tells you what he says.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
That does help having the closed caption for sure.
That's how we watch TV, Jeff.
We're very old. Yeah. You're very old.
I mean, I am.
I just pretend like I am.
Anymore, I can't even see the closed captioning, so it really doesn't matter.
So you have to have some Braille next time too. Like you open the DVD case and a script in Braille comes out for you. Here we go. That's better. It's I could see where somebody watching this would think like, wow, this robot's annoying. But like you're saying,
I like them.
Kind of funny stuff in it, and I feel like we don't get. It's like this weird. It's almost like two different stories. Right?
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Two different stories. Like we have.
You think BB's gonna go crazy,
right?
I mean, that's what Wes Craven loves, right? Like that's a lot of his movies are like, if you don't know what they're about, they're not ever what you think they're about.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Eye is the perfect example.
That's true. If you watch the trailer,
the trailer's just magnificent.
Yeah. But no, it's like, so you get this one story, the boy moving to a new town, making friends, the robot that might be on the verge of turning evil. Then you have like, we better do a bunch of cleanup because we just made a big mistake and everything's going extremely poorly. Like I was telling you before we started, it also, he did 3 or 4 TV movies, but this does have a very much like TV movie feel, just a little bit more violent than what you would normally see on like ABC in 1985, 86. But it's interesting. I don't mind BB. I think it serves its purpose. I kind of wanted to see more of the robot being the robot and stuff it could do, because like you're like, wow, this is really cool. I get there's limitations on what they could show and what they could make it do, but I wanted to see more of the robot, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but I'm a big fan of the Killbots from Chopping Mall, so
yeah.
I guess I just wanted that.
I thought like before BB's gone in the movie, I'm like, how the fuck are they gonna make you hate this little robot? He's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, but he is like basically going, or you think he's gonna go after all the bad guys in the movie, quote unquote bad guys.
Right.
We've got Buffy being harassed by her father in this movie.
Yeah, like what a
he's
like
so fucking creepy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it is borrowed from Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes, you know. I mean, like, it doesn't really fit in this movie. And that part where she's dreaming about him coming in there.
There's a couple weird like dream sequences in this movie, and I'm like, Craven loves to like throw off his viewers by just adding a little thing like that.
Yeah.
Because she breaks a vase off like in his chest, and he's like,
"Oh, it's amazing! That's an amazing effect." Because then the blood is just spouting out like a water fountain,
and she's just sitting there taking the blood. We got a guest. We got a guest.
No, wait, you have to see him. He got a Christmas present. So everybody, if you're live on TV or live on YouTube, this is Dorito. But look.
Oh, nice little bow tie, huh?
Aw, what a dapper gentleman. He hates me.
What does he want? Outside?
No, he wanted in here. And now he ran out.
He was like, they just wanted their screen time, and then they're out of there.
Oh, he hates when I pick him up too. So.
Yeah, no, anyway. There's effects in this that are really good. And there's some that aren't really good. Let's talk about Buffy's. We keep calling her Buffy. Her character,
Christy Swanson.
Christy Swanson. Her name's Samantha in this. But let's talk about her. Spoiler here. This is a big spoiler because this is where it turns to like.
It's fine. We're spoiling this movie.
Oh, yeah. So the dad like beats her.
I mean, we're gonna say he just does awful things because I think it goes more than that.
Right. There's more to it that they don't show, obviously. But like, he beats her. She falls down the stairs, has a traumatic brain injury, goes into a coma, and then she's in the hospital. And the dad's like, "Yeah, I don't want her. Just like kill her, essentially." And it's terrible. Like you're like, wow. And then he just like he sneaks out like a burglar in like a sitcom because he doesn't want to get in trouble when it's all said and done. But what I want to focus on is her makeup, because our main character has a plot or a plan to basically implant BB's like brain into hers in order to.
So BB got killed. We didn't mention that.
Oh yeah, Mama from the train shot her.
Yeah, throw Mama from a train, killed BB, and so. And I love I don't know what her actual name is. Actually, I have it right here. It is
Anne Ramsey played.
Yeah,
her character is Elvira.
I mean, she is Throw Mama from the Train, but if that doesn't ring a bell, she's the Goonies. She's the creepy old lady in the Goonies.
Mama Fratelli.
Yeah, such a distinct look.
Yeah. Oh, and she was in. She's the woman in the shelter on Scrooge too.
Oh yeah.
I remembered that because I just watched that recently again. So, but yeah, no, I like the little callback they do where it's Halloween or whatever it is, and they're trick or treating, and BB's like lock picking that master lock on the gate, but then BB goes back because he was going to get the basketball, right?
I think the basketball had something to do with it, even though it was in her house.
Yeah. Yeah, and every time that lady felt threatened, she would call the police and then pull out a shotgun. She ended up she kills BB like extremely hard. Like we could have used her to fight Terminator, and I think John Connor would have been fine. He wouldn't even have to come back from the future to do that. So
Probably.
But yeah, we get that, it's a mishmash of the stories right there. And then, so the plan happens. They pulled the plug on Buffy before. So basically, she kind of like became unsavable at that point, but they still try. And then I think that's what makes her kind of go evil is she was like dead, right?
I guess. I mean, I guess if you want to put, some thought into it, that's probably okay.
That's sort of what I was thinking, because I was like, if everything would have went as planned, they went in there with all the machines, because that's what they wanted to do was go in there, I don't know how they were going to get the life support machine out of the hospital and keep it plugged in and all that stuff. It's not really well thought out, but
It's not.
It's because she was his love interest. Like they start over the course of the like montage of stuff, they kind of fall in love, and that's anytime the girl's basically out of the house, the dad's like, I'm gonna beat you to death, and well, he does. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess that part feels like a TV movie, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the newspaper boy that doesn't want any part of this, but he hornswoggles them into doing it.
Yeah.
With them, and then we sort of get him like treating her like 11 from Stranger Things,
Oh yeah.
She's like in a sleeping bag in the woodshed, and he's hiding her from his mom and stuff.
Yeah. The mom was a good character too, I thought.
Yeah, I liked her.
I mean, she's not like super important to the story. There's one scene where Buffy's in like the tool shed out back, and the mom finds the sleeping bag because she just kind of like threw it out in the yard. But like back in '86, she's like, she bought him a $200 down sleeping bag. Like if I was thinking about like inflation and costs of today, like that's like $1,400 sleeping bag. But she's like, until you're working for like IBM, like making a couple hundred thou, or she says something like that because I was watching the subtitles and she's like, she just said 100 thou. She's like, well, don't be making like ruining the stuff I buy you. You got to respect me. And but no, it's that part. I was kind of laughing just at that dialogue and stuff. But like to ruin an expensive sleeping bag back then, or just anything really, because that guy's like real respectful and nice up until that point. But he's he's out of his character trying to save this girl.
Well, yeah, and he's trying to, because she doesn't talk basically as the dead girl.
Yeah. What do you think of her doing the robot hands?
I don't know.
And what do you think about her makeup?
I mean, it's not great. I don't know what they were going. I mean, I kind of know what they were going for, so it kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. Really, nothing about her makes sense after this.
No, it doesn't.
But it's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to. It's still an enjoyable movie. If you've never heard of this movie, Jeff, what scene have you probably seen out of this movie? Because I've seen it. I had seen it before.
It's my favorite sport.
So BB now Buffy BB gets into the house and into the Mama Fratelli's house.
Yeah.
And picks up the basketball and beams it at her, and her head explodes all over the wall.
She throws it so hard. So hard. But yeah, you see that one on like GIFs of like horror scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just that's the one, that's the most well-known thing from this movie, I would say.
Jeff, you know who I was talking to yesterday?
You wouldn't happen to be talking to Jason down at the dungeon.
That's right. On East Broadway in Maryville, Tennessee, right at the roundabout, right below the Southland bookstore, you can find our pal Jason down at the dungeon, selling all sorts of goods like vinyl records, cassettes, CDs, VHS, Blu-rays, DVDs, 4K, 9K, Biggleboss, the next format, Biggle Blues.
Green Rays.
Green Rays. Because you're going to be sending me all your 4Ks, Jeff, before too long.
I don't know about it.
So anyway, he's got all of your physical media needs, is what we're trying to say. So even video games and game systems, hard to find boutique label stuff he's getting in. And just if you're looking for old school VHS movies, then that's the place to go. He's also getting in more sets and more movies here lately. He has the 5-movie Twilight set for
Ooh.
you vampire fans, because that's the peak vampire movie I've heard.
Yeah. That's what defined that character, the Dracula.
But he's got a ton of stuff, and we love Jason down there. So head on over there. If you don't worry, if you don't live near Knoxville, it's okay. Because now you can go to Southland_Dungeon on Instagram. He posts basically everything he gets in. If you see something you like, just contact him and y'all can make a deal, and he'll send it right to your doorstep. So we appreciate the support he's given us over the years, and look forward to continuing that.
Yeah. And, in order to support him, go in there if you're local. Even if you're not, fly out there like I did that one time. Go in there and visit him.
Just for him.
Yeah. But, nothing makes him happier than giving a tarot card reading. So get in there and do that. He just loves those things.
He does. He finally heard it.
Did he?
Oh, I forgot. You know what he doesn't have anymore?
What? He doesn't have it? He doesn't have the anime porn.
He doesn't. He sold it. He sold the anime porn.
Oh, end of an era. End of an era.
End of an era. But I'm sure he'll get more in.
We can only hope, right?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, visit Jason Southland_Dungeon on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also go to southlandbooksandcafe.com for more information. All right, so we get Buffy BB causing all sorts of trouble. Jason does like this movie, by the way.
I had a feeling he would.
Yeah, he bought it. So she's kind of going crazy against like all the people that are going like are bad towards Paul, right?
And her. She got her revenge.
That's true. I mean, yeah, she does kill her father.
Yeah. How did she kill him again?
Oh, I can't remember now.
I know.
She burned his face off or whatever.
She apparently they have a huge boiler that would like heat up an entire like industrial park, but like it's in their basement. And he throws she throws a shovel through. Like,
that's the best part. And it sticks in the post next to him.
And he's like, oh.
Yeah. No, I like the little things like that.
Yeah, to see her like using her robot abilities as a person, that is kind of cool.
I mean, it makes no logical sense.
No.
But, so we get that kill. We get the basketball kill. We do get this part where the mom and the newspaper boy is going to rat him out. He's over it.
Yeah.
So he's walking across the lawn in the front yard, and all of a sudden, it's my favorite part. I just busted out laughing. She shoots out of the second story window, man, and tackles
like
him.
$6 Million Man slow-mo with like jumping. But like, yeah, because him and our main character like get into a fist fight in the house, and the mom's just like, I'll be darned. And like the guy's like, I'm leaving. So and BB's like, not on my watch. Jumps out and bashes him up. And then like, man, it's just the end's kind of a mess, to be honest with you. Like there's just too many moving parts.
There's a cop chase. The cops chase her, and they're all running through the neighborhood.
Or like Greaser, bad guy, is like,
he comes back.
Yeah, he shows up. He gets thrown through the police cruiser window, awesome. Like really hard.
Yeah, he gets thrown like 30 feet. Like, yeah, it's awesome. I loved it.
Like so, like I said, it's like a tale of two stories. But I think like if it would have been a little bit longer, they could have focused on one or the other a little bit more. Or I would have been cool seeing like just one story, the one with BB being a robot, or her being like BB.
Yeah,
I think it works. It works.
I like it the way it is in a way, but I see. I mean, I like it because it's different. It's not just a killer robot. There's a little bit more to it. Yes, it's a mishmash of other things that we've seen, but I mean, Tammy and T-Rex hadn't come out at this point, so
That's true.
I mean, you know. So I like it because it's Craven, and because Craven usually tries to do something different with his movies, and that's what he did with this. But it does feel like a TV movie, like you said.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I dig it too. So I mean, we spoiled it. We talked,
Well, we're gonna spoil the fucking ending because I need to talk about this.
All right, let's talk about it.
So the police kill her. She dies somehow. Blah blah blah. Well, this idiot. I mean, I can only deal with this Paul guy so much. They cover her. They put her in the morgue.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do the autopsy or whatever the next morning. And so Paul's going to get her once again and try to bring her back to life.
Yeah.
Because it worked so well the first time. And so he uncovers her, and does she wake up, or he goes to grab onto her, and she like wakes up.
Yeah.
And she starts to pull against him, and like her skin's just like fluffing off.
Yeah, she just
like
magically grew like robot limbs.
She
like,
basically turned into a robot.
Yeah, she was a Terminator at that point because like she had the steel like exoskeleton and like
yeah. And then her face starts to come off, and it's BB, but not.
It looks so weird. It's like they just had a BB mask on the guy's.
Yeah, they squish it because BB is like round, like an oval, and then this is more fits the face of the human.
Yeah, BB has like the Power Rangers robot thing, like face.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. And but I thought the mask looked cool, like on the human. Like it would have been cool to have a sequel where now you have this terrifying robot on the loose.
Yeah. Or just like a TV series where people are trying to live their day-to-day lives and all of a sudden she's showing up to ruin it and throw people through windows.
I mean, logistically, it makes no sense. I mean, none of this story, but it's fine. If you want to have a fun movie, a fun little horror movie to watch, it's a good time. I liked it.
It's such a bizarre ending, and they just like shoehorned it in for like a jump scare. I feel like. Have you seen Pieces? Movie Pieces?
I mean, I feel like I have. For some reason, Pieces and Torso kind of blend together. I don't know if they're anything alike, so I don't know which one I've seen, and I couldn't even tell you anything that happened in the one I saw. But I know I watched one of them.
Pieces is insane. Like
I don't think it's Pieces. I think I saw Torso.
You probably have seen Torso because you'd remember Pieces, but like it's very much insane. But the ending of Pieces is one like that where it makes absolutely no sense how it ends. So I was going to talk about that. I don't want to spoil it for you because I'd
like to see it eventually. We'll probably cover it.
Yeah, I was going to say we're either going to cover it for this or on the Trash Talk because it's very much either or.
Yeah.
But, no, this movie it's an interesting one, but it's very much worth the watch, I think. So.
Well, I guess let's go ahead and rate it. What do you rate this bad boy? How many BBs? Oh, this movie gets bonus points for me for the kick-ass metal soundtrack at the end, where it's like B B B B B B B B.
So for me, this one I give it a 3. I mean, it could easily be a 3.5, but I give it a 3.
I give it a 3.5. I like the movie. I dig it. I mean, like I said, it makes no sense, but it's a fun watch. It's easy to watch. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's like peak 80s like movies like for horror. Like what else could you ask for?
Well, we have a surprise next week, Jeff. We're going to continue Wes Craven.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and we're going to have a little guest on the show.
Special guest, Matthew Henry. That's right, the original host of 930 Laser, co-host with me that started this thing. He's going to come back and he's going to talk about New Nightmare. I know he loves Wes Craven, and I know he'll have a lot of good things to say about New Nightmare. New Nightmare is different, man. I mean, I didn't like it the first time I saw it, but the more I've seen it, the more I dig it. But it's different.
There's some
But
really
that's
cool
what Wes
scenes.
Craven's really good about.
Yeah, there's some cool scenes in that movie, and I do like it. And I think, without it, would we have had Scream or some of the other meta stuff that follows it later? But we could
No.
talk about them more next week.
No, I'm sure Matt will have a lot to say about that.
I hope so.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. And then after that, we're gonna cover From Trauma, recently released by Vinegar Syndrome.
Yep.
Rabid Grannies.
From 1988. Another great year. I mean, it's no Night of the Demons, but it's something for sure.
So anyway, that's the show. We appreciate y'all listening.
Yeah, they could listen.
They listen, watch, whatever. Catch us on YouTube, guys. Subscribe, even if you don't plan on watching us over there. Just hit that subscribe button for us. It would really help us out. And until next time, what should they do, Jeffrey?
They need to keep it bloody.
And watch out for those basketballs, because somebody has to.